The summer air was thick with heat as Isabella James stepped off the plane at LAX, clutching her work tote and mentally running through the schedule for her weekend business trip. At 29, Isabella had built a solid career as a marketing executive in a booming tech company based in Chicago. She had never missed a deadline, never been late to a meeting, and never, absolutely never, let her heart wander on a business trip. But as the California sun kissed her face and the distant hum of Los Angeles traffic reached her ears, something felt different this time. Like the air itself was humming with possibility. Her hotel, an upscale glass and steel structure in downtown LA, welcomed her with the scent of citrus and clean linen. The moment she entered her room, she kicked off her heels and flopped onto the bed. She had 2 pitches to attend across the weekend. Easy. Efficient. Clean cut. What she didn't plan for was the man who would be seated across the room during her first pitch at a high-end Santa Monica co-working space. "I think what your campaign's missing is less polish and more truth," the voice came. Deep, confident, and smooth enough to make her head turn on instinct. Isabella looked up from her laptop and saw him. Early 30s. Sandy blonde hair that curled naturally over his ears. Square jaw. Ocean blue eyes that somehow looked straight through people and made them feel naked in a crowded room. He wore a navy button-down, sleeves rolled up, forearms tan and strong. And that smile. That effortless, tilted smile like he knew every secret you were trying to hide. "I'm Logan Scott," he said when they were introduced. "Creative director at Holler Agency." Isabella extended her hand, suddenly aware of the subtle tremor in her fingers. "Isabella James. Strategic Marketing, Atlas Tech." Their handshake lingered just a second too long. Enough for sparks to flicker under her skin. The meeting continued, but she kept stealing glances at him. And each time she looked, Logan was already watching her. After the session, Logan found her in the cafe below the building. "You're not what I expected," he said casually, sliding into the seat across from her. "Oh? And what did you expect?" she asked with a teasing smile. "Stiff. Corporate. Tense." He grinned. "Instead, I got a woman who challenges the room without raising her voice." Isabella flushed, unsure what to do with the compliment. "And you talk like someone who knows how to get what he wants." "Maybe I do," he replied, eyes locked on hers. "Drinks tonight." Every red flag in her mind waved. She was here for business. But her lips said, "Sure." That night, under the city lights at a rooftop bar in West Hollywood, she let herself breathe. Let herself laugh. Let herself feel something that hadn't stirred in years. Logan was witty, open, passionate. He didn't just talk, he listened. He asked about her dreams, her fears, her childhood obsession with writing poetry. And he looked at her like she was the only person in the universe. When he brushed a strand of hair behind her ear, his fingers grazed her cheek. Soft. Intimate. Their eyes met. Their faces leaned in. And when their lips touched, it wasn't fire. It was an explosion. A rush of heat surged through her as he deepened the kiss, his hands wrapping around her waist, pulling her closer until there was no space left between them. His touch was gentle but urgent, each movement deliberate. And when he whispered in her ear, "Come back with me," her body moved before her brain could catch up. They barely made it inside his loft before his lips were back on hers. Clothes hit the floor piece by piece, each kiss more desperate than the last. He carried her to the bedroom, laid her down like she was something fragile, precious. The night was a blur of sighs, whispers, skin-on-skin tension, and finally, a quiet aftermath where they held each other like they'd been doing it for years. The next morning, Isabella woke to the smell of coffee and the sight of Logan standing shirtless in the kitchen. It felt domestic. It felt dangerous. "You cook?" she asked, pulling his t-shirt over her head. He turned, eyes lingering on her legs. "For you?" "Absolutely." Over scrambled eggs and toast, they talked about everything: his move from New York, her years buried in work, the fact that neither of them had felt this kind of connection in longer than they wanted to admit. That afternoon, instead of going back to her hotel, Isabella followed him to the beach. They watched the sun set over the Pacific, her head on his shoulder, his hand tangled with hers in the sand. But Sunday came too fast. Too final. Her return flight to Chicago loomed. "Say the word," Logan said as he walked her to the airport gate. And I'll come with you. Isabella's heart cracked. I want to say it, but we don't even know each other. I know you enough to know I don't want to lose this. She kissed him again, long, hard, and lingering, and walked away before she could change her mind. Back in Chicago, everything felt dull. Gray. She stared at her laptop, her emails, her calendar, and none of it mattered. Logan called every night. Sometimes they just sat in silence together on video chat, pretending the distance didn't hurt. But it did. Every second. 2 weeks later, she was walking home from work when she spotted him. On her street. In the snow. What the hell are you doing here? She laughed, nearly dropping her purse. Business. And you. He took a step forward. Mostly you. That night, they didn't just fall into bed. They fell deeper into each other. The connection was stronger. The passion more urgent. And afterward, when they lay there tangled in sheets in silence, Isabella whispered, I think I'm falling for you. Logan smiled against her skin. I already fell. Months passed. They became a routine. A rhythm. Weekend flights, weeknight calls, surprise visits. But then something unexpected. Logan received a job offer in New York. Big money. Big agency. His dream job. You should take it, Isabella said, heart cracking again. I don't want it if you're not in it. They argued. They kissed. They cried. And finally, Logan made his choice. He turned it down. I'll build something here, he said. With you. And he did. Logan launched his own creative firm in Chicago. Isabella helped him get his first client. They moved into a loft with high ceilings and too much sunlight. Life wasn't perfect. There were disagreements, long nights, stress, but there was also laughter, kisses over morning coffee, and slow dancing in the kitchen. One night, while watching a movie in pajamas, Logan pulled out a small velvet box. I didn't plan this, he said nervously. I was going to wait. Do something big. But you're here. And I'm here. And I don't want another second to pass without you knowing I want this forever. Isabella's breath caught. He opened the box. Marry me. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she nodded. Yes. Yes. 1,000 times yes. The business trip that started as a career move turned into a love story. No one could have written better. What began on a summer weekend in Los Angeles ended with a forever promise in the heart of Chicago. Isabella never returned from LA the same woman, and she never wanted to. She found something on that rooftop. In that kiss. In Logan Scott. She found true love.